Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. The Dark Universe. If you are fascinated by space, science, and real human achievements, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button and turn on notifications, because today's video is truly special. Today, we are going to explore one of the greatest adventures in human history. The journey from Earth all the way to the moon. How did humans make it possible? What challenges did they face? And what really happened during the moon landing? So sit back, relax, and let's begin this incredible journey to the moon. Globe showing Europe Africa Section 1, the dream of reaching the moon. For thousands of years, humans have looked up at the moon with wonder. Ancient civilizations believed the moon was a god, a mystery, or even another world filled with secrets. But for most of history, reaching the moon was only a dream. There were no rockets, no technology, and no way to survive in space. Everything changed in the 20th century, when science and engineering began to advance rapidly. Countries started competing to explore space, and this competition became known as the space race. The biggest rivals were the United States and the Soviet Union, and both wanted to be the first to send humans to the moon. Rocket Section 2, the space race and NASA. The United States created NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration. NASA's mission was clear: to explore space and push the limits of human possibility. U.S. President John F. Kennedy made a bold promise. He announced that America would send a man to the moon and bring him safely back to Earth before the end of the decade. At the time, this goal seemed impossible. Rockets often failed. Astronauts faced extreme danger, and space was completely unknown. But NASA continued testing, learning from failures, and improving technology. Adult Rocket Section 3, Apollo 11 crew. NASA launched Apollo 11. The crew consisted of 3 astronauts: Neil Armstrong, the mission commander; Buzz Aldrin, the lunar module pilot; Michael Collins, the command module pilot. Michael Collins stayed in orbit around the moon, while Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin prepared to land on its surface. Each astronaut had trained for years, knowing that even the smallest mistake could be fatal. Full Moon Section 4, landing on the moon. On July 20, 1969, the lunar module, called Eagle, began its descent toward the moon's surface. Fuel was running low, alarms were sounding, and tension was extremely high. Finally, Neil Armstrong announced the famous words, "The Eagle has landed." Moments later, Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon and said, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." For the first time in history, a human being was standing on another world. Milky Way Section 5, life on the moon. The moon is a very different place from Earth. There is no air, no water, and very low gravity. Because of the low gravity, astronauts move by hopping instead of walking. There is also complete silence, because sound cannot travel without air. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin collected moon rocks, set up scientific experiments, and planted the American flag. They spent about 21 hours on the moon before returning safely to their spacecraft. Globe showing Europe Africa Section 6, return to Earth and impact. After leaving the moon, the astronauts successfully returned to Earth. Millions of people around the world watched the mission live on television. It was a moment that united humanity and proved that anything is possible with determination and science. The moon landing inspired new technologies, advanced space research, and motivated future generations of scientists and engineers. The journey to the moon was not just about space. It was about human courage, imagination, and teamwork. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like,